The Honorable Austin Kennady of the Bryant Law Center, our guest on today's Legal Line Part 2, and the topic is personal injury. And we have a question from Raymond who says, I was forced off the road, rolled my car, the other driver did not stop. How can I get compensation for my injuries?
Well, if they were unable to find the driver, then first thing I would do is that you'd want to look at your own policy. You could have what's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's fairly inexpensive. It covers you in incidents just like that. So, or on the other hand, I guess if you get injured in a wreck and someone didn't have insurance at all, it also would cover you in that situation. So I look at your own policy, see if you have uninsured motorist coverage. In situations where it's a hit and run and they don't find the person who ran you off the road, you typically have to have contact or an eyewitness. If you don't have contact with the vehicle, meaning like you can show visible marks on your vehicle where you were hit, or you can't find an eyewitness, then in those situations, a lot of times that your own uninsured carrier will deny your claim. But look at your policy, call a lawyer, and see if you have any options out there as far as the uninsured motorist coverage.
Next question comes from an anonymous viewer who wants to know, for a malpractice lawsuit, do you have to obtain a lawyer in the state in which the doctor practices?
So, I mean, that's interesting. As far as malpractice lawsuits, and I'm assuming, again, you're talking about medical malpractice, you don't have to have a lawyer in that state. You know, lawyers can be licensed in multiple different states. I mean, you don't have to just have one state where you specialize in. At our office, you know, we have lawyers licensed in Kentucky, Missouri, and I believe Illinois as well. So no, you don't have to. You know, it does typically help to have a lawyer somewhat close to where the doctor's practice is, just because you're familiar with the doctor potentially, you're familiar with the hospital. But that's not something that, you know, a lawyer out of state that you're comfortable with can't, you know, become familiar with after doing the research and their due diligence and become familiar with your potential case.
Next question comes from someone who says the driver who caused my daughter's wreck was intoxicated and got a DUI. Will this help my daughter in her case?
Potentially, yeah, and it also could be grounds for punitive damages. You know, not all cases call for punitive damages. Punitive damages are designed to deter that conduct in the future, okay? So in cases like that, it also, in front of a jury, it also means a lot. So when you're giving kind of the standard run-of-the-mill car accident, you get rear-ended at a red light or something, versus something where the at-fault driver was under the influence, perhaps driving, you know, very aggressively, wantonly, then those facts definitely, you know, weigh in the minds of a juror, and it weighs in the minds of a defense attorney, an insurance company, anybody evaluating the value, or anyone evaluating your claim. So yes, I would say it helps for sure, and I would also contact a lawyer in a case like that, because that's one where you can really, you can do a good lawyer can do a lot of work for you on that case.
Got about 20 seconds left in today's second segment, and someone wants to know, my son was injured in a wreck in Lexington. Can you handle the case?
Yeah, we handle car accident cases all over Kentucky, you know, and we also have the Louisville office set up there. So that's not a problem at all. I do a lot of Zoom calls with clients that are not in this area or can't travel. So it's not hard to get a hold of us. We can do a Zoom call anytime, and I'd be happy to, you know, give us a call and I'll talk to you.
Austin Kennady and Emily Roark, our guests today on Local 6 Legal Line. They're from the Bryant Law Center, Paducah, Mayfield, and Louisville. You can review either one of these segments very shortly online at WPSD Local6.com.